Hello everyone, welcome to BEC Lab 5. Today we are going to explore a little bit more about the BJT transistor characteristics. So BJT, that is bipolar transistor, are of two varieties, that is PNP and NPN. And the BJT characteristics are of two types. One is input characteristics, one is output characteristics. So fundamentally it's very important to know that what's the difference between them. So basically your input characteristics is plotted between input current versus input voltage at output voltage constant. Just remember, input characteristics is between input current versus input voltage at a constant output voltage, and output characteristics is between output current versus output voltage at a constant value of input current. So this is very important to understand. Now, depending upon the transistor configuration, so transistor configuration will based upon the connection of the transistor terminals. So there are three types of transistor circuit configurations. One of them is common emitter, common base, and common collector, or it is also called as emitter follower. So all these three configurations provide some unique characteristics, which we will see at the end of this online session. So let us start with common emitter configuration. So in a common emitter configuration, we have the emitter terminal common between the base and the collector. So the input is applied to the base and the emitter terminal, and the output is taken from the collector and emitter terminal. Here, if we plot the input characteristics, it will look something like this. So it will be versus IB versus VB at a constant value of output voltage, that is VC. And I mean, if you take two different values of VC, it will be separated by a very small value basically. So here in this case, VC will be slightly greater than VC1. VC2 will be slightly greater than VC2. So these are for different values of output voltage. So again, I repeat, the input characteristics of a common emitter configuration is a graph between the IB current, which will be in microamperes, versus VB voltage. Okay, and the output characteristics will be between IC, that is the collector current, versus the collector to emitter voltage. So this is my output characteristics. And if we see for the family of curves, that is for different values of IB, it will look something like this. That is IC versus VCE. Okay, and for different values of IB, so here IB4 will be greater than IB3, which is greater than IB2, which is greater than IB1. So this is what the output characteristics will look like for a common emitter NPN, using NPN BJT configuration. Okay, now let us quickly go into LT Spice. So basically, this input characteristics will tell you what is the input impedance of your BJT. So input impedance you can calculate by like this. So here you concentrate. So Rin can be evaluated as delta VB upon delta IB at a constant value of VC. So basically you take 2 points for VB, 2 points for a particular value of IB, and when you divide them, that is the change in the VB upon change in IB will give you Rin. Similarly, from the output characteristics over here, when the transistor is in the active region, so that time the change in the VC upon the change in the IC, that is delta VC upon delta IC, will give me output characteristic, output impedance or output resistance of a common emitter configuration. So that's how we can determine. Also, in case of common emitter configuration, there is one more parameter, that is beta, which is the current gain. So there are two formulas: beta DC, which is IB upon IC upon IB, and beta IC will be delta IC upon delta IB. So beta is the current gain; it is greater than actually 1. So this also we will evaluate, and also from the output characteristics, we can come to know whether the transistor is operating in the cutoff or saturation or in the active region. So here, this is my saturation region of the transistor. This is my active, where most of my current is constant, and this is my cutoff, basically very close to the x-axis. Okay, so what we will do now is we will simulate this in LT Spice quickly and determine how to calculate this Rin. Okay, so what I will do is I'll just put this a little bit aside, okay, to the left hand side of your screen, and I will be simulating the circuit for the common emitter configuration. I suppose this is proper now. Yeah, it's absolutely fine now. Let me just push this inside. Yeah, both are fine now. Now what we will do is we will be doing the input characteristics. So input characteristics should look something like this. So let us plot. This is my common emitter configuration for the input characteristics determination. Okay. So let me simulate. We have used BC547B as a transistor, and we are varying the value of VBP for a constant value of output voltage, that is VCC. Let us simulate this, and here I have right click, add trace, and plot IB of Q1. So if you think this is your characteristics, you are wrong, because x-axis is your VCC. You need to right click on the x-axis and change it as V of C. Actually, now you will say, why V of C? Actually it should be VB. So actually it should be VB, sorry. Yeah, VB. Now why VB? Because VBE we want to plot, and emitter terminal is, if you see carefully, the emitter terminal is grounded. So VB is same as VB. So that's how it is. Now let us analyze this a little more details. Okay, so this is the proper graph of IB versus IB, which is in microamperes, versus VB of my input characteristics. So from here, what we need to do is to determine the value of R in. What we need to do is we need to take two values. So when I bring this plus sign, as you can see, this plus sign I'm moving around, I can place it over here like this. So X and Y coordinate will come in the extreme, bottom corner, extreme left hand side. So you say this is. Let me just uh, check this PDF out. Yeah, you see bottom corner. If I rotate this, X and Y coordinates are also moving. So you can place it over here on the curve, and I mean we need to take delta VB upon delta IB. So what we need to do take is, if I place this plus sign near any of my curve value here, let me place it here. So it will give me XY coordinate. Here X coordinate is my VB and my Y coordinate is my IB. So you note it down. It will be actually, how do you calculate it? It's inverse of the slope basically. So you will note it down the value of corresponding value of this will be a higher value, so you can note it down as VB1 will be 686 millivolt and your IB1 will be 19.83. Then you move a little lower, you go a little bit lower side of your curve, and here you can place it. So here again my VB2 will be given as 663.88 millivolt and IB2 will be 9.14 microamperes. So you got the difference between them. So Rn will be just delta VB upon delta IB. So just subtract VB1 from higher value from lower. So VB1 minus VB2. Similarly, IB1 minus IB2. This is done at constant value of VCE. Basically here VCC is constant. So that means VCE is constant. So that's how you determine the values of Rn. So as per my calculations, I am getting around close to 2 kilo. So you will also get a similar answer. Okay. Now let us understand from the output characteristics, how do we determine R out? So for output characteristics, we have to select the output configuration. So let me select the output configuration over here. Yeah. So in output configuration, we will plot IC versus VC. So again, we are using the same circuit, only we are varying the VCC first and then VBB for different values of IB. Let me go to simulate, click on run, and on the blank screen, I will add trace and plot IC of Q1, that is the collector current. Now, if you think this is your correct characteristics, you are again wrong. Basically, this characteristics is IC versus VCC. We have to plot VCE. Emitter terminal is grounded, so VCE will be VC only. I'll change it to V of C. Now, why this is working? Because we have labeled in the the terminals as collector, base, and emitter. That's why it's working pretty fine. Now, these are my characteristics, output characteristics as predicted. As you can see over here, for different values of IB, you are getting this characteristics. Okay. Now you see that the transistor is in cutoff region, correct? So let me place this here. You can see when you see that the orange line is there on the x-axis, so you see that the current is around 5.01 microampere. So that is the current. The current flowing, which is due to the transistor is in the cutoff region here basically. It's almost on the x-axis if you can see the orange color curve. Okay, so below this orange color curve and this x-axis is my cutoff region. And here, whenever my transistor is in almost the over here we can see the current is rising and almost it's increasing now, linear rising gradually. So that region is called as active region. And over here on the extreme left hand side of the screen, let me just see, yeah, this region over here to the left of this, whenever it becomes almost constant, this is my saturation region. So now I have to calculate for only one value of IB. So what I will do is I need to measure VCE and corresponding value of IC. So what I will do, I will take two values. So again, I'll move this pointer over here. Let me concentrate on this curve. So I'll expand this. So I'll evaluate now. So let me say this, I am evaluating over here. So this is where I place my X and Y coordinates. So X is VC1 is 6.394 and my IC1 is 2.55 9 milliamperes. Similarly, I'll go down and again note down the points. Let's say over here. So again here the VC2 will be 2.418 and my IC2 will be 2.418 milliamperes. So VC2 will be 2.418 volts and IC2 will be 2.418 milliamperes. So you subtract them. I mean R out will be VC1 minus VC2 upon IC1 minus IC2. So if I do that, I'm getting close to 25 kilo ohms. You will also get a similar answer. Okay, so it's very, very important to this is what we get from the output characteristics. So output characteristics, what does it give you? It gives you information about the output impedance of your common emitter if BJT is connected in the common emitter configuration. Now, one more parameter is there which is extremely important, which is the current gain. Now let us determine beta AC. So for determining beta AC, it is the change of delta AC upon delta IB. Now you will see here there is no IB. So what do we do is right click, add gain plot, and over here right click, add trace, and we just plot IB basically. Okay, so just click on OK. So this is my value of IB and these are my values of IC. Now what do we do is we'll expand it near 5 volts. So expand it here. Okay, we'll expand it even more and we do this exercise 2-3 times so that we get more accurate value. Okay, now it's better. Still one more time I'll expand. So yeah, it's getting better and better. Okay, fine. I think this much is fine. Yeah, I think one more time let me do it. Yeah, this is fine. So what we do is we take the voltage here difference as 5 volts. So 5 volts will measure IC1 and IC2 and then we'll measure IB1 and IB2 and then we'll subtract. So remember your beta AC will be the current gain for the AC quantity will be delta IC upon delta IB. So first of all, I will measure the value of IC. So here at 5 volts, what is my value of IC? So IC1 is 2.515 milliamperes, as you can see on the Y coordinate. And similarly, at this for this blue curve, I will measure it as 1.122 milliamperes. So this is my value of IC2. Now, similarly, again for the same red curve above, this is correspondingly value of IB. So here I'll measure the value of IB1 as 8.41 microamperes, and below if I go, I'll again measure IB2, which will be 3.46 microamperes. So what will be my beta DC? Beta DC will be IC1 minus IC2 upon IB1 minus IB2. So if you work it out in a calculator, you will get around close to 297. So beta DC is 297. So this output characteristics also gives you information about the current gain of the transistor. It will tell you three things. It will tell you output characteristics will tell you three things. It will tell you about what is my output impedance, what is my current gain, that is beta. As you can see, it's around greater than 1, very much greater than 1, and in which operating region my transistor is operating, whether it is operating in the saturation region or it is operating in the cutoff or in the active region. Normally for amplifiers, we make it bias in the active region, and if you want to use the transistor as a switch, you normally operate between the cutoff or a saturation region. So now I think that's it for the common emitter configuration. So from the input characteristics, let us revise. We can get the value of input impedance, and from the output characteristics, we can get to know three things: the operating region of the transistor, the beta value, and the current gain beta and the output impedance, that is R out, output resistance. Now let us cross check this value of beta AC. I'll right click on this transistor. I'll click on pick a new model, and here I see BC547B. If I scroll below and scroll to the right, I'll see here BF. BF is nothing but your beta. There is around 294.3. So we are getting very close. So we are absolutely correct. Okay. So I mean that's the way we want to check the answer. So we can check the answer for beta current gain like this also. So this is the transistor. This is a part of transistor parameter. So basically that might be the value of beta DC. Here it is beta AC. Okay. Now we go for the other characteristics. Now let us go to OneNote PDF. Okay. Now we go to common base configuration. So for a common base configuration, my base terminal is common between the input and the output. So your input is consisting of emitter and base, and the output side consists of collector and base. So if I plot the input characteristics is input current IE versus the input current VBE at a constant value of output voltage, that is VCB. So that's what my my input characteristics will be. And if I consider for different values of VCB, I will get this graph. So there will be distinct difference between the two. So over here, if we see that VCB2 will be greater than VCB1. So the input characteristics will give you again information about the input impedance. We'll see that shortly. And output impedance, output characteristics is plotted between VCB and IC, that is the output voltage versus output current at the constant value of input current, which is IE over here. So these are the different values of IE. Actually here IE3 is missed out. Not a problem. So you can take this till IE2, not a problem. So here again my output characteristics will give the the feel of whether the transistor is operating in the cutoff region or in the saturation region or in the active region. Now one thing to note here is here the characteristics will go into negative side. So if it is in the positive, it will be almost a straight line. That means it is an active region. Your VCB and VCB, whenever it comes out to be negative, they are converging to zero. I mean negative value on the left hand side of your zero axis, x-axis basically. So the output characteristics will give us information about whether which operating region the BJT is operating when in the common common base mode. So output characteristics will give us information about the output impedance. So here the output impedance is delta VCB upon delta IC. So now, and also it gives you one more information. It gives us information about the current gain, the common base current gain, which is denoted by alpha. Now there are two types, alpha DC and alpha AC. Particularly, we will be measuring alpha AC, which will be delta IC upon delta IE at a constant value of VCB. Okay. Now let us start with the analysis. So first we will see the common. Let me just reduce it. Yeah, for a common base configuration. So let me open common base configuration. First we'll do the input characteristics. So this is my common base configuration where base is common between the emitter, between the input and the output. So here you can see clearly the transistor is again BC547B, and we are checking the input characteristics. Now let me just simulate this. So remember the input characteristics is versus VBE. So here we are plotting IE. Now remember that in case of your, in case of a BJT here, it's especially in SPICE, the IE doesn't come proper, it comes opposite direction. So whenever you're writing your IE, you have to add a negative sign over here. So that way only it will come proper because the direction of IE doesn't come properly over here. That's the problem of LT SPICE, nothing to do with the operation or anything. Just remember that you have to put minus of IE. And is this the characteristics IE versus VB which you're looking for? No, this is not the one. So what we need to do is we need to right click on the x-axis and select over here V of E. Now why cannot I write VB? Because base terminal is grounded, so VB will be minus of VE basically. Okay, so VB will be VB minus VE, where VB will be 0. So VBE will be actually minus of VE. I'll just put here minus sign and click on OK. So these are my characteristics. This is my characteristics, input characteristics for common base configuration. Okay. Now I can place a pointer. I mean, I can see you see a family of curves over here. Definitely that is what is expected, right? But I want to take it for only one value. So what do I do is I can place my cursor at one. I mean, I can expand this a little bit. Okay, and I can only select one value, right? And on that value only I'll operate. So let me bring my cursor over here and place it with a blue color line I'm making as a reference. So if I hold it like this, my what is my actually the value of input impedance? So it is delta VB upon delta I. So let me place the point, I mean by plus the cursor over here. So this x and y coordinate is x coordinate is VB1 and y coordinate is IE1, which is 1.142 milliamperes, and your VB1 will be 638 millivolts basically. Now similarly you can move down and do the same thing. So you see to it that you are always in the middle. And so here this time my VB2 will be 616 millivolt and my IE2 will be 0.502 milliampere. So this is how we can check the values of, RN will be now VB1 minus VB2 upon IE1 minus IE2. So that's how we can check the value. And by calculation, I'm getting around a very high value, 2.3 mega ohms. You can also get a similar value. Okay, now let's proceed to the output characteristics now. So let me open the output characteristics schematic. Already it's made ready, available. Okay, so this is my output characteristics. Now for output characteristics, I need to plot VCB versus IC. So again, I go to run and I go to simulate and I'll right click, add trace, IC. Okay, so these are my plots. Now remember one thing, my x-axis is not VC. Actually it's VCC. It should be VCB. So I'll again I right click over here and I'll replace it by V, capital V of. Remember your base terminal is grounded, so VB is grounded. So VCB is actually V of C only. So we can write it. So these are my graphs which I'm getting for my output characteristics. Now we know what we need to do is we need to expand on any one of the graphs. So let me consider this graph. I'm expanding it and a little bit more, a little bit more. Let me just, take the red one actually. Okay, I'll keep on expanding it till I get a sufficiently large difference. Yeah. So do you need to expand it a 4-5 times so that you can get a proper value? So your it's almost a straight line. So obviously the impedance will be pretty high. So you place the cursor over here. You get note down the xy coordinate. So x coordinate is 8.67. That is your VCB one, and your y coordinate is your IC1, which is 387.96 microamperes. Now you move down and place it over here. Again, you do the same thing. Your VCB2 is 2.04 volt and your IC2 is 385.82 microamperes. So your R out will be basically VCB1 minus VCB2 upon IC1 minus IC2. If you work out, you will get a higher value. I'm getting around 2.8 mega ohm, right? RN was coming out to be actually, sorry, I actually missed out. RN was coming out to be very low value. So in common base configuration, RN is very low. I'm getting around 23.3 ohms, whereas R out is coming out to be 2.3 mega ohms. So common base configuration is giving very low input impedance and very high output impedance, which is evident. Now, from this output characteristics, we can determine easily what is my active region. So below, right hand side of 0 x-axis is my active region where my current is almost a constant, and to the left hand side when they are converging, note that they are not converging to 0, but they are going to 0 only. It is not only showing over here. That's it. So here to the left hand side of my x-axis, that is 0, is my saturation region. And when I place this cursor onto this blue line, I'm getting 4.47 picoamperes, which is nothing but my, if I expand it a little, yeah. So this current, if I place it over here, this is 5.11 microamperes. Basically below this, so over here, the area between the distance between the blue line and the red line over here is my cutoff region basically. Okay, so that's a leakage current which you are seeing over here. Now the last but the most important part is the current gain, right? The common base current gain, that is alpha. How to do it? How to measure it? So again, I'll plot. I will require IE. So I'll right click and click on plane plot, and here I will plot the values of IE. Basically, whenever you talk about emitter current, you have to add a minus sign because of LT spice limitation. Yeah, these are the values of IE and IC. Now we have to expand it near 5 volts. Basically, you can take any voltage, but I am particularly using this 5 volt. So we have to do this 5-6 times. I mean, to get more accurate results. Okay, yeah, we got it. This is 5.00. So what I will do is I'll take in this point of IC1. So this is my value of IC1. I'll take this curve. This IC1 is at 5 volt. It's around, the value is around 0.867 milliamperes. And similarly, IC2 will be over here. IC2 is 0.387 milliamperes. Correspondingly, you note down the value of IE also. So IE is coming out to be over here 0.872 milliamperes, and over here for the red curve IE2 will be 0.386 milliamperes. So what will be a value of alpha IC? Alpha IC will be IC1 minus IC2 divided by IE1 minus IE2. Okay, and you will definitely get a value lower than 1. If you're not, and it will be very closer to 1. So I'm getting a value of around 0.9937 by these calculations. Okay, now I think this will be all for the common base configuration. So again, I recap. So common base configuration, the input characteristics will tell you about the input impedance, which is coming quite low for common base. And from the output characteristics, we can determine 3 things. First of all, the output impedance, it's quite high for common base configuration. And second, we determine the current gain, the alpha value, the alpha IC value, which is my common base current gain, which is less than 1, and that is also very important. And thirdly, we can determine in which operating mode my transistor is operating when in common mode configuration. So this is my saturation region, this is my active region, and this is my cutoff region. Okay, so now we'll go to the last configuration, that is common collector. Now this is a little tricky because very less information is given about common collector configuration, but mind you, it is very useful configuration. Okay, now for common collector configuration, my collector terminal is common between my input and output. Here my input consists of base and collector, and my output is the emitter and collector. So here my input characteristics is between the input current and the input voltage, which will be IB versus VCB at the different values of output voltage, that is VCE. So here you can see the 2 distinct values of VC for VC1 and VC2, they are coming, and here VC2 is greater than VC1. And if you want to determine the value of Rn, it can be determined like this. So Rn will be, basically you can see if line is like this, it's have a negative slope. So basically we have to only consider the magnitude. So even if we are getting a negative slope, we'll consider only the magnitude, not the sign. Okay, so Rn will be delta VCB upon delta IB at a constant value of VC. So you can determine the input impedance from the input characteristics. And from the output characteristics, no doubt we can determine in which operating region the transistor is operating, whether it is operating in the cutoff or in the active region or in the saturation region. So from the output characteristics, we can determine output resistance. That will be, output characteristics is between, first of all, VCE versus IE in milliamperes. IE will be in milliamperes, VCE will be in volts. So over here, this has a slope, right? So what we will do is we will do delta IC. We'll measure a difference between delta VCE, that is VC1 minus VC2, and delta IE. And if we divide delta VC upon delta I, we'll get the output impedance. So let us start this analysis for the common collector configuration. So this is my common collector configuration. Let me close this. And now let me open the common collector input for input characteristics. So this is my common collector configuration. As you can see, the transistor again selected is BC547B. And let us start. So I'll go to simulate, I'll click on run, and now I want to plot the characteristics is IB versus VCB. So I'll go on right, I'll click on the right, I right click and click on add trace. I'll get IB. So here you select IB and click on OK. So mind you, the x-axis is not, it's actually over here VBB, but we want VCB. So how do we determine? So right click over here and you can remove this and type capital V of. Here collector terminal is grounded, remember. So VCB will be VC minus VB, where VC is 0. So VCB will be minus of VB. So here you have to write minus of VB, capital B. Here we are able to do this because we have labeled those terminals as capital B, capital C, and capital E. Okay, so these are the characteristics which I'm getting, which are consistent with this curve. Now we need to concentrate only on one. So let's say we select the value of orange color curve. Yeah. Okay. Now remember, this will come negative. So we have to take the, I mean, I told you that the slope of this will be negative, but we have to only consider the positive, I mean, the magnitude of it. So what we need to do, if I place my cursor over here like this, it will give me the value of X and Y. Here X is your VCB and your Y is your IB. So note down the value. This will be your, VCB1 will be 0.42 and IB1 will be 19.46 microamperes. Now you go to another point. So this will be your VCB2, which will be 0.73 volt, and your IB2, which will be 18.2 microampere. So basically here, how will you calculate Rn? Rn will be the change in delta VCB upon delta IB. So here you have to specially do only for this VCB2 minus VCB1, only for this, and divided by IB1 minus IB2. Okay, because the slope will come in negative. So we have to take care of it. So if we evaluate this, the Rn will come out to be extremely high. I'm getting around 252 kilo. Okay, sorry. Now we'll go to the output characteristics. Okay, so now we are ready to determine the output characteristics, the output impedance from the output characteristics. So let me close this and open the circuit schematic for the common collector output characteristics. Okay, so this is my schematic. Now I'll go to simulate. The output characteristics is between VCE and IE. So I'll go to simulate, I'll click on run, and here in the blank screen, I'll right click and click on add trace, and I'll select IE. Basically, I always told you all that in LT-Spice, we have to put a minus sign because the IE direction is not proper coming out of the terminal for the BJT, especially in LT-Spice. So yeah, that's why we have to do that. We click on OK, and we are getting some characteristics, but this is wrong because we have to plot VCE and the x-axis is actually VEE, right? So we need to change it to that. So what is a VCE? VCE will be VC minus VE. Here the collector terminal is grounded, so it will be minus of VE. So I will plot over here minus, and I'll write inside capital E. Okay, so these are my correct characteristics now. So these are my output characteristics. Now I will select one curve. Let me select it as let me select the blue color one. Okay. So over here, I will take 2 points again. So let's say at this one point is over here. So the x-axis is, I mean, R out is delta VC upon delta E, right? So your x-axis will be x 1.194. So that is around, the value. Let us take a broader value. So here this curve is between 0 to 10. Okay, fine. Yeah, it's proper. It's perfectly fine. We will evaluate for the blue one. Okay, so we'll place this point over here. So here the x-axis will be your x coordinate will be VC1. VC1 is 1.546 volt, and IE1 will be 5.2 milliamperes. Similarly, and we'll again take another point. Let's say over here. So we are determining basically the inverse of the slope basically, right? So your this value VC2 will be 0.685. You're seeing these values on the extreme left bottom corner of your the LT-Spice window. Okay, and your y coordinate, that is your IE2, will be 2.85 milliamperes. So if you do this, that is R out will be equal to VC1 minus VC2 upon IE1 minus IE2. You'll get the value of R out, and the value of R out is coming out to be, for me, it's very low. It's 367.81 ohms. So that's the way to determine the output impedance and the output impedance from the output characteristics and input impedance from the input characteristics for my common collector configuration. So again, I revised the common collector configuration. We have input characteristics. From that we determine input impedance, and we have output characteristics, which will tell you in which operating region the transistor is operating, whether it's in the saturation, cutoff, or active. Let us check the, almost, yeah, not a problem. So now this will be my cutoff, my saturation and my active. So from the output characteristics, we can determine in which mode the transistor is operating. Also from the output characteristics, we can easily determine the value of R out like this. Okay, do you have a slope? So that will be delta VC upon delta IE at a constant value of IB. So R in and R out we have got, and now we are ready to summarize the input and output impedances for common emitter, common base, and common collector. So for common emitter, we are getting a moderate value in kilo ohms. For R out for impedance, and for common base, we are getting a very low value, and for common collector, we are getting a very high value. Similarly, the output impedance for common emitter is moderate; it's few kilo ohms. For common base, it's very high, and for common collector, it's low. The output impedance is very low. This is the way we can determine the various characteristics. From the characteristics, we can determine this useful information. Okay, so I think that's it for this BEC Lab 5. I hope that this discussion will help you to determine various features of the BJT characteristics. That is input and output for all the configurations. That is common emitter, common base, and common collector. Okay, so that's it from my side. Uh, Next time we'll see some other characteristics for some other device. So until then, have a good day and thank you.